Devarim 34 is the final perek of the Chamisha Chumshei Torah and deals with the final day of Moshe's life upon this earth. The perek opens with a statement that Moshe traveled from the Arvat Moav to Har Nevo. This was a mountain range, or a mountain in a range, Asher al Pnei Yericho, adjacent to the Canaanite city of Jericho. While at the peak of Har Nevo, Vayareo Hashem et kol haaretz, God shows him the entire land, et HaGilad ad Dan, from the geographical location of the Gilad, all the way through to the area of Eretz Canaan proper that would be allocated to Shevet Dan. In Pasuk 2 and 3, mention is made of a number of specific locations shown to Moshe, and this part of the narrative ends with Pasuk 4, with God telling Moshe, Zot haaretz asher nishpati le'Avraham le'Yitzchak le'Yaakov le'mar le'zaracha et enena. This is the land that was promised to be given to the descendants of the Avot. I have physically shown you this land, v'shama lo ta'avor. You, however, will not be permitted to cross into it. This is then followed by a statement to the effect that Vayamat sham Moshe evet Hashem. Moshe, the servant of God, died there be'eretz Moav, al pi Hashem, at the command of God. A Peshat reading of Pasuk 4 is that although v'shama lo ta'avor, you, Moshe, would not be permitted to cross the Jordan into Eretz Yisrael, nevertheless hiriticha be'einecha. The pledge that was made to Avraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov, beginning with the Brit Ben Habtarim, has been fulfilled. A kind of a reassurance to Moshe that his mission, begun at the burning bush, has been brought to a successful conclusion. The Leimar of this pasuk modifies the promises that were made to Avraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov. The content of those promises was that L'zaracha et enena, the land would be given to the descendants of the Avot. Rashi, also from the standpoint of the Peshuta Shel Mikra, has a very novel reading of this pasuk, and that is that he lumps together the Leimar L'zaracha et enena hiriticha, that hiriticha, I have shown you this land, kadei shetelech v'tomar le'Avraham le'Yitzchak le'Yaakov, so that you, about to leave this earth and join your ancestors, would be in a position to testify to Avraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov that the shvua shenishba lachem HaKadosh Baruch Hu kayama, that the commitments, the promises that were made to them by HaKadosh Baruch Hu have been fulfilled. With this reading of the text, Rashi maintains that he can explain the seemingly textual anomaly of the insertion of the word leimor. In other words, the purpose of the hiriticha, of my showing you this land, was so that leimor, you should now go and inform the Avot that the promise of l'zaracha et enena has been fulfilled. From the Pshat, we can move into the world of Remez and Drush, recorded in Gemara Bava Batra 56. The Gemara records that Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel, in the name of Shmuel, a halacha that Kol she'erehu HaKadosh Baruch Hu leMoshe, the entire area of land that God showed Moshe, that is, on both sides of the Jordan, have a KEDUSHAT, and therefore the produce of those lands are chayiv b'ma'aser, have an obligation for the laws of ma'aser. The Gemara goes on to add a caveat, but this excludes the lands of the Kini, the Kenizi, and the Kadmoni, understood by some to be the lands of the three nations on the east side of the Jordan, Edom, Ammon, and Moab. The tie-in of all this to the Sicha regarding the Bnei Gad, Bnei Reuven, comes from a footnote that explains the link between whatever it was that Moshe saw to territory that was deemed to be part of Eretz Yisrael proper, both on the right and left sides of the Jordan, involving somewhat material drawn from the Sod and recorded in the Tzafnat Paneach, the Chidushi Torah of the Rogatchover Gaon, undoubtedly the greatest Torah mind of the modern era, that Shri'iyat Moshe Haita L'Kadesh Avir, that Moshe, in gazing towards the lands that were to become Eretz Yisrael, brought about a Kedusha to those lands. And this link between the KEDUSHAT Haaretz and Moshe Rabbeinu is the pivotal point that will be discussed in the sections that follow.